Hello and welcome back to another art video. In this video, we're going to be doing Angel Valve and Pixel Mode. So I decided to, if you remember the previous videos, which you don't really have to know about, but I was trying to figure out a use case for these crayons, and the use case that I found essentially is I guess doing things like this, doing like art that's like blocky and kind of like pixelized. So I thought that I would like kind of trace over Angel Valve and make it into like a pixel like iteration of it. Um, it is something that is interesting. I'm not sure the result is what I was looking for. Also, another snag that we hit with these crayons is that if you push too hard on the crayons with the paper, it will like brush off, like kind of like come off. But here what I'm using is paper, and I believe it's Simply A graph paper and Simply A plus graph paper and Simply A plus crayons, and I'm using a light tab or a light pad. And yeah, those are the only like real uh tools that I'm using for this. And I think that the character Angel Valve is pretty cute. I don't really know what I would do with them, but they are a cute character. There are many things that I need to work on. There's so much stuff to do with so many projects to flesh out and to come to fruition, that there's never a dull moment until you get distracted or suffer from executive dysfunction. And going through the process of doing all of this stuff when I don't feel like it most of the time is very funny. But it's not like the process of any of this stuff is like not fun or not enjoyable, but there is a level of consistency that we've developed with uploading the videos regardless of the quality of them. It is a somewhat of a ritual at this point, but often I get distracted now by just random side quests that makes it harder to make the videos as soon as I like record them. So I have to go through the process of like uh, sometimes cutting it down to the deadline, and in most cases I don't do that. Like I don't use a lot of time to develop these things. I just kind of do whatever I want and post that, because I believe that we don't have enough sources that show you not everything is perfect, not everything is going to be great. You're not going to be like, living in a paradise mentally 24/7. Sometimes you just got to sit down and just make something, and that's okay. Like that's not a problem or anything like that. I think that when you witness perfection nonstop, when you witness the illusion of, you know, there was not as much effort put into doing something as something else, you start to believe that everything is done in one fell swoop. And I disagree with that wholeheartedly. I believe that that is a negative in society. I believe that's a negative that social media has helped proliferate, because for the most part, people genuinely will just think that the grass is always greener on the other side. But I think that in the age of social media, that predetermined biases is confirmed by only seeing cherry picked moments from everybody's life, only seeing finished art, not ever seeing the process, not seeing the ideation side of something. There are people out there who spend hours, if not weeks, on like one piece of art, and if you see the result, you just think like, oh well, you're so good. Like you posted like 50 finished drawings, like you're the greatest artist ever made. And in reality, that's not how things work. There are some people out there who are definitely really good and can probably dish out like high quality work fairly quickly, but that is not the majority of people. And I think that a lot of people think that, well, if I'm not putting out a new piece of art every day, um, I'm not fast enough. And I don't think there needs to be speed. I think speed is a trap, and a lot of people kind of fall victim to that scheme of the idea of speed. There is no need for speed in creation. I think that the only thing that can be something that you abide by is maybe a deadline for, for instance, like me uploading videos is like, deadlines for that. And I need to engage with them as frequently as possible. But the significance of like other things in that regard aren't as intelligible, because when you think about, oh, I need to like hurry up and finish this piece, unless it's a commission and they like need it yesterday, it's like, what's the rush? What is the rush? What are you rushing towards? Why are you pushing so hard towards something that doesn't really seem to have much of like a goal, right? It's not really a goal. It's just something to stress yourself out until you do nothing. And the paralysis that comes with engaging in this like hyperfixation on speed, or um, completing things in a manner that is much faster and much quicker than before, lead you down a path that you can't, that becomes unsustainable. It like you cannot maintain the level of speed consistently. You work at the pace that you work at, and that's it. And sometimes, depending on if it's like client work or something, obviously you might have to push yourself a little bit harder, but you don't need to accelerate or speed up anything, because it's just you, right? Like, you're creating because it's fun, you're creating because you enjoy it. Again, if you have a deadline by a, customer or whatever, that's a different story. But overwhelmingly, that's not the majority of artists. And if you're drawing for yourself, you don't want to be out here like speeding up. Or if you have ideas for like a project that you want to get done, sure, you can add a little bit of speed to it. But in those situations, I don't really think that is the same thing. But I do see a lot of people are obsessed with speed and getting through things really quickly, and I believe that to the that is a detriment to the process of creating art. And I would like more people to just see somebody just doing it, and maybe it's not always the best, but they are showing up every day. They're showing you that you can make anything that you want, you could do anything that you like, and it doesn't have to be like this perfect thing. Because again, a lot of people get caught up in perfection, a lot of people get caught up in speed. And I know that you know some people have, I guess, standards for what it is that they want, but sometimes those standards are actually what's holding you back. Sometimes those standards are what is causing you to not do the thing that you want to do, and you need to learn how to loosen that up so that you can perform the acts that you want to perform. Like, you want to make something, you want to make it. You're like you want to make music, you make music. You want to draw, you draw. But you can't be predisposed with how much time it takes and whatnot. But thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye.